Now, the incoming Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has signalled better relationship with India. Prime Minister designate Shehbaz Sharif, who is the selection of the United Opposition in Pakistan, has said that if at all relations between India and Pakistan should improve, then there must be a solution to Kashmir. He says without a possible resolution for Kashmir issue, one could not imagine peace between the two countries. These are words of Shehbaz Sharif talking to Geo News in Islamabad. Shehbaz Sharif has said that his first priority was national harmony and the new cabinet would be formed in consultation with opposition leaders. It may be recalled that PMLN President Shehbaz Sharif had submitted nomination papers for the post of Leader of the House. The National Assembly Secretariat has now convened a meeting of the National Assembly tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the appointment of the new Leader of the House. The new Prime Minister of Pakistan will be selected tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pakistan time. On the question of Nawaz Sharif's return and cases against him, Shehbaz Sharif says that Nawaz Sharif's cases would be dealt with according to law. All right, this is, of course, a big statement that's come in from the Pakistan Prime Minister designate. Shehbaz Sharif, even before he takes the mantle of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, makes a big statement on Kashmir, particularly about India and Pakistan's relations. He says that without a solution on Kashmir, he could not see relations improving, while at the same time also saying that he wants to see national harmony, he wants to see better relationship with India. Let me cut across to Gaurav Sawant, Senior Executive Editor, giving us a perspective on this issue. Gaurav, you've been tracking Pakistan's politics for a while. We know Kashmir is a very sensitive issue to India, and it appears so is for Pakistan. Shehbaz Sharif, even before he takes on the mantle as a Prime Minister, rakes up the Kashmir issue, saying that there needs to be a solution, a resolution for Kashmir, and without that, he can't imagine peace with India. Give us an understanding, what's Shehbaz's connection with Kashmir, that his first opening statement before he takes on the mantle as Pakistan Prime Minister is Kashmir solution?
You know, when he was Chief Minister of Pakistan's Punjab province, the biggest, the most populous province, and this is where the biggest terrorist organizations are actually headquartered. In Bahawalpur, you have Jaish-e-Mohammed, and in Muridke, you have Lashkar-e-Taiba. He used to fund these organizations, and while claiming that he's funding these organizations to improve the education standards, here was the Chief Minister who took absolutely no action against either Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar-e-Taiba, and both the terrorist organizations, the biggest and UN designated terrorist organizations, flourished when he was Chief Minister of Pakistan's Punjab province. That's point one. Point two, in some quarters he was also known as Lashkar Sharif, given the patronage that his party PMLN provided to Lashkar-e-Taiba chief and Lashkar-e-Taiba as a terrorist organization. The other part about this is Pakistan's Kashmir policy or India policy is actually decided by General Qamar Javed Bajwa and the core commanders, and not by either elected or selected leadership of Pakistan. They are actually very ineffective. Pakistan's Prime Minister is actually known as the Mayor of Islamabad because perhaps he carries just the same power. When Imran Khan tried to, as is rumored in some quarters, tried to sack the Pakistan Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa, he survived perhaps 3 more hours after that and lost the power in Pakistan. So any statement on Kashmir is just basically something that he's saying to placate audiences, but Pakistan's influence on Kashmir actually is now reduced tremendously after Article 370, which explained Imran Khan's frustration, and of course Pakistan Army's weakness, which explains that India could carry out a surgical strike and an airstrike in Balakot, and Pakistan armed forces could do precious little.
You know, Gaurav, now with Shehbaz Sharif raking the Kashmir issue, it appears India has also got to be on alert. As you say, the kind of history that Shehbaz Sharif has while he was Chief Minister of that province, the Punjab province, it of course gives a lot of reason for us to be concerned here on how he exactly, or what kind of solution is he exactly looking at or looking forward to. At a time like this, when he is not even taken on as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, his first agenda, he says that's almost his first task at hand, to ensure that there is a solution to Kashmir. What do you think, in your view, would ideally be his vision of a solution for Kashmir?
You know, Pakistan is desperate for a rollback on Article 370 because Pakistan realizes that their influence, or the stakeholders or the influence of the separatists, is getting completely negated. You know, the government of India is now pushing its agenda very extensively on complete unification. And in some quarters, Pakistan is also very apprehensive about what will happen in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. You remember a statement of Bilawal Bhutto of Pakistan People's Party. Bilawal Bhutto said that before Imran Khan took over, Pakistan used to talk about Kashmir and Srinagar, but after Imran Khan took over and post the abrogation of Article 370, it is about saving Muzaffarabad from India. So, you know, there is a realization even in Pakistan that there is a sea change in India's stance on the situation on Kashmir and response to Pakistan state-sponsored terror. You know, one instance of post 26/11, India did not react despite the Air Force saying that we will go and hit to send out a message to Pakistan. But then the apprehension was Pakistan being a nuclear weapon state. How should India respond?
Right.
But post, you know, the terror attacks that took place first in Uri, there was a surgical strike. Post Pulwama, there was an airstrike, and Pakistan army could not respond. So India has been able to expose Pakistan's bogey about the use of nuclear power. India has also been able to expose Pakistan and certain sections in our own country on Kashmir. So while they will make a lot of statements, while there could be a spike in terrorism in Kashmir, but overall the security situation will remain the way India wants to deal with it. And with China-Pakistan economic corridor, Pakistan automatically remains on the back foot.
Right, Gaurav, this, of course, is a big statement that Shehbaz Sharif has made even before he takes on as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He says that that's his first task at hand, to improve relationship with India. He says that he wants to see relationship with India improve, but that would happen only if you find a proper solution to Kashmir. Those are the words of Shehbaz Sharif while he speaks to GeoTV in Pakistan. Gaurav, stay with us on that. Since Imran Khan has started to face this kind of commotion, right after that month-long turmoil, Imran Khan finally has been sacked as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The National Assembly will be meeting today to elect the new Prime Minister of Pakistan. Their decision to elect the new Prime Minister will happen tomorrow. That's Monday, 2 p.m. Pakistan time. In fact, Shehbaz Sharif has submitted his nomination papers for the Prime Minister's post. Meanwhile, PTI leader Shah Mahmood Qureshi has also filed his nomination for the post representing PTI. In fact, yesterday in a late-night political drama, voting was held, a no-confidence motion that pushed out Imran Khan from power. National Assembly passed a no-confidence motion with 174 votes, a good number to veto Imran Khan as the Prime Minister. Now, Imran Khan really becomes the first Prime Minister in Pakistan's history to have been voted out through a no-confidence motion. PTI members staged a protest outside the Assembly when the voting was underway, demanding for justice and, of course, asking for azadi from this kind of foreign conspiracy and arm twisting of the united opposition. Pakistan National Assembly Speaker, meanwhile, along with his deputy, resigned just before the voting even began. PMLN leader Maryam Nawaz Sharif has reacted to this vote and said that nightmare in Pakistan is finally over. According to reports, Imran Khan vacated the Prime Minister's official residence just minutes before he lost the no-confidence vote.
"174 members have recorded their votes in favor of the resolution. Consequently, the resolution for vote of no confidence against Mr. Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, has been passed by a majority of the total membership of the National Assembly." आज आज प्लीज तशरीफ रखें, ऑर्डर इन द हाउस। आज पाकिस्तान की ऑपोजिशन के सारे कायदीन यहाँ बैठे हैं और शिद्दत से मियां नवाज शरीफ साहब की कमी महसूस हो रही है।
मैं आज ये फैसला करता हूं और मैंने फैसला किया है कि मैं स्पीकर के ओहदे पे मजीद नहीं रह सकता और मैं अपने ओहदे से इस्तीफा देता हूं। मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी का बहुत लंबा अरसा अपने लीडर इमरान खान के साथ गुजारा। 26 साल से मैं उसके साथ रहा। मैं स्टूडेंट लाइफ से, जब मैं स्टूडेंट था उस वक्त मैंने तहरीक इंसाफ ज्वाइन की और उस वक्त जब मैं शौकत खानम कैंपेन चली थी मैं उस वक्त उसके साथ था। मैं चूंकि इस वक्त एक कौमी फरीज़ा है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक फैसला है, इसको मनोअन तस्लीम करते हुए उसकी जो प्रोसीजर है उसको आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं जो पैनल ऑफ चेयरमैन है आया सादिक साहब वो बाकी इजलास वो चलाएगा और जो इसकी लीगल वो उसके मुताबिक करेगा।
इस शेर के साथ मैं अपनी बात ख़त्म करूंगा कि जब अपना काफिला अज़्म यकीन से निकलेगा, आप और मुस्कुराएं इसलिए कि मुस्कुराने के दिन है ये आज। जब अपना काफिला अज़्म यकीन से निकलेगा, जहां से चाहेंगे रास्ता वहीं से निकलेगा। वतन की मट्टी मुझे एड़ियां रगड़ने दे, मुझे यकीन है चश्मा यहीं से निकलेगा।
मैं सर दिसंबर से मुस्कुरा रहा हूँ, फिर मैं फरवरी में भी मुस्कुराता ही रहा और मैं कहता था कुछ बड़ा होने वाला है।
All right, this is a big statement coming in from Fawad. If at all PTI members resign from the assembly, then what would be the fate of the National Assembly itself? Will that mean the House will be dissolved? Will that mean, just like what Imran Khan wanted, the country will go into another round of elections? We're going to wait and watch to see what happens on that. But this was indeed a midnight high-octane drama, ended with Imran Khan's resignation, almost him being pushed out after that month-long battle. Pakistan National Assembly will convene on Monday again to elect the next Prime Minister of their country. Here's a quick report on Imran's dramatic exit.
Rumour of sacking mighty Pakistani Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa. Prisoner vans outside the Parliament. Prime Minister sacked. Pakistani Awam witnessing one of the most dramatic nights in their country's history. The chain reaction started during the day after the assembly session commenced. But the political mayhem peaked after dusk. United opposition demanded a trust vote by 8 p.m. but it did not take place. The clock was ticking, running a lot faster for Khan and his government. According to Supreme Court's order, no confidence vote was mandatory before midnight, otherwise Khan would face consequences. The next big development came from the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice instructed relevant officials of the top court to open the doors at midnight. Embattled Prime Minister Imran Khan held a key meeting with his cabinet, but nothing much could be done. Meanwhile, rumours started that Imran Khan is planning to sack the Pakistani Army Chief General Bajwa. But Imran Khan was fast enough to put the rumour to rest. Khan, who had no chance to survive the motion, said he will fight till the end. Security was beefed up. Prisoner vans were called. For once it looked that Khan might be arrested. The petition was filed in the High Court to stop Imran Khan, Shah Mahmood Qureshi and Fawad Chaudhry from leaving the country. Around midnight, the final leg of the political tamasha began. Just ahead of the vote, Assembly Speaker and his deputy resigned. Opposition party leader Ayaz Sadiq to preside the Assembly session. Imran's loyal lieutenant Fawad Chaudhry also knew the time was up for Khan, and he was correct. Khan became the first Prime Minister of Pakistan to be voted out. National Assembly passing a no-confidence motion with 174 votes.
Consequently, the resolution for vote of no confidence against Mr. Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, has been passed by a majority of the total membership of the National Assembly.
Shehbaz Sharif, who is likely to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan, expressed his thanks to the members.
शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि अल्लाह ताला के फजल करम से उनकी जदोजहद, उनकी कुर्बानियाँ आज रंग लाई हैं और आज दोबारा पाकिस्तान के अंदर आइन और कानून का पाकिस्तान दोबारा बना चाहता है इंशाअल्लाह ताला.
PPP chairperson Bilawal Bhutto Zardari welcomed the Awam to Purana Pakistan.
हमने selected करार दे दिया था और जो गैर जमहूरी बोझ ये मुल्क 3 साल से उठा रहा था, आज 10th April 2022, welcome back to Purana Pakistan.
The Pakistan National Assembly will convene tomorrow at 2 p.m. to elect the new Prime Minister of Pakistan. Imran played the last ball, as he said, but lost the most crucial innings of his political career. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, from a legendary sportsperson to the first Pakistani Prime Minister that has been sacked now, this is how Imran Khan will be remembered for generations. He lost power late Saturday night. He was voted out by the parliament in a no-confidence motion. And that drama continued through the night until today. Here's a quick report on Imran Khan's oscillating career and that midnight showdown that pushed him out of the throne.
इमरान अपना अक्सरियत खो बैठा है.
A bowler par excellence. A reliable batsman. First and only Pakistan captain to lift the World Cup for his nation. Imran Khan is perhaps the greatest cricketer produced by Pakistan. A legend who inspired a generation of pacers, not just in Pakistan but across the world. 30 years later, Imran Khan betrayed every ethos of a good sportsman as he became the first Pakistani Prime Minister to be sacked after losing the trust vote. First, instead of taking on his opponents head-on, he dug the trust vote by not showing up for the proceedings in the Pakistan Assembly. As the captain of his team, the PTI, Imran Khan abandoned his party members and the loyalists.
यहाँ बड़ी-बड़ी हस्तियां हो गुजरी, बड़े-बड़े नामवर लीडर यहाँ पैदा हुए, इस कौम ने पैदा किए. आज वो 6 मन मट्टी के नीचे सो रहे हैं. कल हम भी नहीं होंगे, लेकिन तारीख गवाह होगी. तारीख हक़ाइक़ कभी छुपते नहीं हैं, दबाए जा सकते हैं, पर्दे में रखे जा सकते हैं, छुपाए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन एक वक्त आएगा जनाब चेयरमैन कि तारीख उनको बेनकाब करेगी. तारीख उन लोगों को जिन लोगों ने ये सारा नाटक रचाया है, उनको बेनकाब करेगी.
Boxed into a corner and seeing that there was no way he could hold on to the Prime Minister's chair, Imran Khan then tried to fix the match.
वज़ीर-ए-आज़म पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ अपोजिशन ने अदम-ए-एतमाद की तहरीक 8 मार्च 2022 को पेश की थी. अदम-ए-एतमाद की तहरीक का आइन, कानून और रूल्स के मुताबिक होना जरूरी है. किसी गैर मुल्की ताकत को यह हक नहीं कि वो साजिश के तहत पाकिस्तान के अवाम की मुंतखब हुकूमत को गिराए. वज़ीर कानून ने जो नुकात उठाए हैं वो दुरुस्त है, वैलिड है. लिहाजा मैं रूलिंग देता हूँ कि अदम-ए-एतमाद की करारदाद आइन और कौमी मुख्तारी व आज़ादी से मुनाफी है और रूल्स और ज़ाब्ते के खिलाफ है. ये करारदाद में मुस्तरद डिसअलाउ करने की रूलिंग देता हूँ. ईवान की कार्रवाई प्रोग की जाती है. फरमान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया पाकिस्तान के दस्तूर के आर्टिकल 54 की शिक 3 के तहत तजवीज़ करदा इख्तियारात को बरवकार लाते हुए कौमी असम्बली का जुमा
25 मार्च 2022 को तलब करदा इजलास इसके काम के इख्तिताम पर बाज़रिया हाज़िर बर्खास्त करता हूँ।
He tried to tamper the ball again by delaying the trust vote that the Pakistan Supreme Court had ordered to be carried out on 9th April.
का कप्तान भाग रहा है, भागते भागते तौहीन अदालत कर रहा है, भागते भागते आईन शिकनी कर रहे हैं।
He was finally run out by the opposition and the Pakistan judiciary, which forced a vote on the no confidence motion past midnight. With the writing on the wall being clear, Team Imran finally conceded defeat. Imran Khan retired hurt, leaving his official residence for his private estate in Banigala, even as the voting in the Pakistani Assembly was underway. From a champion to a sore loser, this is how Imran Khan will now be remembered. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, that's a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin. For the news and updates, you could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for more. Stay tuned. News and updates continue.